Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be finishing off Season 1 of Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei here with episodes 11 and 12. Very excited to see what's in store for the finale. And yeah, we're back. It's Monday. We're going to see how far we can get tonight, see if we might be able to do that analysis portion as well, but it is already 8 o'clock and I do tend to get a little bit tired. Either way, best way to start the video is to start the video here with the YouTube comment here from Error Unknown, which is just a bit of a gaffe, a little bit of a joke, everybody. I could go on and on about this show, but unfortunately this comment is just a preview and I don't intend to write it anyway. Hardy ha. I'm sure I don't need to explain this joke to people that have watched the show already. I liked the preview bit. I thought that was quite funny last week. Yeah. Either way, straight on to the patrons. Let's give them a shout out and then we'll set ourselves up for that finale. If you are particularly passionate about Season 2 of Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei, or potentially a poll to replace Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury, hey, Patreon is there for you. You'll get double votes in said poll if you are a patron, as well as, again, getting those episodes 1 week early, if that is something you desire. Many people have supported the channel, up to and including Mickey Babbers, AJ, Banana Ramahama Damasama, Bisa, Bobbin, Capella, Chobo Ribby, Copley, Dapper Dwarf, Darky26, Domobot, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fleur Nightingale, Fruit, Fusel, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Gus N, Hans Peter, Ika, Yaku Yavanen, Jacob R, Chummy Boo, Joran, Kasogtha, Kelvin, Clem, Nosta, Cot Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Mistake L Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nico Lane, Parnek, Pencil Sharp 333, Ragashingo, Ronlad B&K, Saint Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Zach, Shinchio Iyoshi, Akomancer, Binshi, Voodoo Chili, Aiden O'Brien, Bin Flu, Greybeard, and the Lazy Panda Man. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. And I wanted to bring up a comment that I got on the first episode, I believe, as of recently. And it kind of echoes a trend I've been seeing in a few comments. And I guess it's to not lose faith in the show and going a little bit deeper eventually, right? Because again, a large scale criticism that I've had for Season 1 thus far is, and then what, I guess? The show has its premise, the show has its characters, and then what? What are we trying to say ultimately with what we're trying to do here? And again, even if that stuff happens way down the line, rest assured that it will happen, I guess. It'll all click, I guess. They're telling me to hold faith, and I am. I'm with you guys. It's assurance that I enjoy. Just again, I'm happy that I'm not alone in maybe feeling like there should be more. And you know where would be a good place to maybe sprinkle in a little bit of that? The end of Season 1. So yeah, we'll see if that bears any fruit here with episodes 11 and 12, I guess. And yeah, straight into episode 11. Let's jump right in. Rightio, I have a very bright episode 11 up there ready to go. 24 minutes and 11 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I have the celery file set. If you wanted my version, get that one. If not, there should be a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Now let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Rightio? 3, 2, 1. Go. It's winter break. That transitioned quickly. It was summer not long ago. We're at the movies, too. A very interesting movie. Please refrain from using your cell phone. I don't think she can do that. I'm recording as well. This opening again, huh? Yeah, bet. I was completely sure that this was going to be a one-off. Really makes me doubly wish for, subs for this. Because I found the first opening, the lyrics there were quite interesting, so... And again, it's the cast singing it again, so, there could be stuff there, is my point. I think the other copy I had maybe had it, but that other copy was also huge, so I'm not sure I want to download it just for some subs. I'm sure I could look it up and find it somewhere too. What did I say last week? It was kind of giving me Evangelion. Still is. Sure. Somebody's turning 40? Well, they didn't look that entertained by it. What is the original way? It's another creepy middle-aged man? Okay, the director is here. Are we going to explain why she just has... Anyway. What's the original way? Alright. Seems like we're taking his side for some reason. Those seemed referential. Love that shot, too. What? Oh, I get what we're saying. We're being quite funny, actually. Okay. I love it when we, yeah, swap the character there, too. Well, yeah, there was one odd one out. Nami's pissed. Oh, are you a fan of said idol, potentially? Like the background there. Not that quick. Yes. Do tell. Oh, yeah. What's that, like, face-off shit? What? And now I'm gonna beat him with this ladle? Hardy hardy ha. What if it's a shit recipe? I'm looking for like a good 15 seconds where I can explain what this bit's getting at, and it's quite funny. Very observant. Council work away. Interesting camera. I really like the geometry of the shots here. Huh? Dominatrix way? Yeah, fair enough. Also, interesting character. Seems like she's taken on a little bit of that from the whole insult section. Yes, Chiri? I guess that's a way of looking at it. She's so fucking mad. Of course I am. I have many escape routes of my own. What? What was he trying to do? I smell an escape route. I can be your angel or your devil. Oh, that was cool too. Escape route. That was straight out of Monogatari. Okay, let's ignore then. Funny. She have a knife? Oh shit. I wonder who it was. Fur is quite funny. Yeah, Sinetsky not being there is kind of fun. Those two? One up the bum? Oh, yeah. That character that was doing the psycho in the shower. She's part of the furniture. She just hangs around. Could have seen that one coming. How many people are living in here, man? Hang on, wait, that makes no sense at all. Yeah, a bit of camaraderie there. Uh, go on then. Oh. She's ruining the peace? It's our house. Oh no, she does it to everybody? Yeah, bet. Yeah, but, like, what if I don't want to clean right now? Huh? That looks like some kind of cursed object. Okay, now I see what the problem is. I want all that stuff, though. No, I think I need someone like Chiri in my life. I'm really bad about keeping stuff I don't need. Not the collectible cards. Oh, you left Komori in there. Oh, that's nice. I'm happy Mario's having a good time. I like how we're including Komori as well. It's just called bed rotting. You're already halfway there. Yes. And what is that? Very by the book. Hardy, hardy, ha. I don't think they're hibernating. No, they were just having a rough patch. BBS. Good bit. That will not happen. I wish I could hibernate. I found a human inside. Of course not. I mean, you own the place, man. No, it's kind of my spot. Yeah, but also I like you. Yeah, fair enough. Inside his own house is funny. Ah, bit of Freddy Krueger going on there. Oh, okay. Everybody into the closet. What? It's just a sleepover. What are we doing? It's kind of comfy, I guess. But it's also giving like cult vibes. I don't know. Oh. Everyone have a group bedrotting session. Huh? I would cook in there right now. What? So do you have a picnic that terrible? Any means? What? Okay, this is a top 5 anime battles. Oh no. There's no way I could sleep. Okay, I mean, what's the counter? Ugh. I don't know, I'll probably just die. Huh? Somebody's put a spell on us? I was gonna say it. Yeah, I didn't know what kind of heater it was, but it was giving that kind of vibe. Use another escape route. Oh, Sinetsky's still there. That was great. Bro, he's fucking dead? No way. Kafka, how you gonna put a fucking... How you gonna put a bright side on that? How you gonna look on the bright side of that one, man? Fura. Okay, I guess that's our, like, very 11th hour little setup for a final episode. Which I'm sure that we will treat with all the reverence it deserves. Oh my god, he's dead! For real! There isn't 2 more seasons at all. Jokes were funny this episode, for sure. But again, that's been the analysis, the hard-hitting analysis on most kind of episodes here thus far. I'll say that on the surface level, I get the jokes. Like, now that, again, I have the 15 seconds, like, something sucking and then blaming the process or just saying it's the way it's always been done, like, that doesn't cut it. You may think that that's an escape route, but it's not. You still made something that sucked. I don't know. Again, I think film's the most kind of... Well, they don't like video games as well at the moment. It's not a lot of unique-ass video games. It's like, yeah, the game you made sucked. It was Assassin's Creed again. And it's like, well, that's the way it's always been done. Well, the way it's always been done sucks. It's stale. You gotta change it up, buddy. Come on. Okay. I can't believe he's fucking dead. Ooh, everyone's here. All your favorites. Ooh, always looking on that bright side, eh? It's my character. We're really playing this up, eh? It's kind of funny. No way. And yeah, final episode, episode 12 on the cards. Did Sensei survive? We're gonna have to see. And now, the final episode of Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei for Season 1 is up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 42 seconds on this one. Sync up accordingly with your own copy. There will be a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure using the celery subset. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio? 3, 2, 1. Go. Okay. I guess he's better? Or we're flashing back. Cock out? Fair enough. Oh, he's cool. What the hell? That was actually sick. Buddha, 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 Buddha. He got hit by a streetcar? Fucking what? I like the return to this opening. Kind of some nice full circle stuff on the season. Also, again, just shouting at that cast and the creative stuff one more time. That's nice. Also, who are all these characters? This shit rips. They've thanked me multiple times, too. I know. Shafto. What an incredible brother. Showa 82, Tokyo. The soundtrack's really cool. The background's really cool. Damsel in Distress, Girl 1. Okay. No, I think you're just a little bit too worried. I was just offering it to you. Oh, shit, okay. Yeah, fair. So we're connecting it all together. Kind of. Yes. I thought I saw what was happening, but now I really don't. The eye color's curious. I'll give you that. So quick, this show, man. I'm sorry for being born. Well, yeah, kinda. I'll leave that for you guys to say. How about that? Yeah, and of course it's self-fulfilling, right? Because now it's like, you've got a complex. It's like, oh, I'm sorry about that. Always apologizing. Nice fourth wall break. I liked that. You're not the main character? Also, I love that we're just openly talking about the show. Not at all. Why, you think that you're the main character? No. She's so mean. What was that run? She used one of the various escape routes, probably. Another really cool shot. Oh no. It is a little bit. I mean, no, that's not. Have a little bit of self-confidence. That's just working in the service industry. I'll tell you that right now. Ugh. It's a Starbucks. For the record, this is like the #1 archetype of person that I don't like. Just so exhausting to be around. Just stand up for yourself, damn it. World doesn't revolve around you. Do you think something may have been mixed in? The customer's always right, I guess. What? The sound effect, man. Hug it out, lads. Come on now. The factory worker. I'm happy you're having a good time. This is stressing me out. Yeah. I should look up how Japan did at this World Cup. I wouldn't imagine very well based on this skit. Wasn't there one World Cup they did really well in? Like at least round of 16. I'd need to look it up. They beat Germany or something? Anyway. Are all these true, chat? Remember when he was dead? Thoughts? What, just the city, or? Tony Hawk sound effect. Yeah. Terrifying. Oh yeah, down to Okinawa, why not? What is it? I guess it's beachy? So everyone's like built? Really like this shot. Don't advocate for suicide too hard next to her, because she'll actually do it. Damn, he's dead again. This little animation they're doing is really good. How about you, Fura? Anything? Nothing? Dude, that joke with Sadetsky's so good. What? Sure. So I guess she was there the whole time? Now this is the character I thought we were going to be doing. I mean, the 2 times I've seen you thus far, you've stabbed people. So I'm not sure that I'm missing too much there. What? She will stab you, by the way. I actually really like her eyes. Do we think she's actually mean, chat? Oh, excuse me. We did just see her ding-dong ditch. Animation, man. I think we're doing a weird reverse psychology thing with her character. What? Oh, the opposite. Like you fake yourself out. Yeah, I see what we're getting at. Those are just nips. Hello? Yeah, I think, is that going to be her bit? Don't judge a book by its cover. I saw her do it. She's also stabbed people. They are, though. Stereotypes exist for a reason. What is she doing? Why would you do that to the dog? Fura. This one's going to be a real challenge for you, but you gotta believe me, she's actually bad. Now, don't fake yourself out. No, but it is, though. I do like this guy. This is very smart. It's a red herring. But on all available evidence, it must have been. The hell are you talking about? We're playing Twister? We're playing esoteric reference Twister? Alright. I think I saw Evangelion there briefly. I know that one. There most certainly is. I wonder who the evil one is. What are you talking about, man? Phone stolen? She had the instruction manual. We'll see how we go in the... I was preventing it. This is another good bit. I quite like this one. What was that? Oh, a little blush? Holy fuck. Yeah, you killed his ass. I really like this joke. Just walk away. The despair button? Fair enough, fair enough. Cool, 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 cool. Hardy ha. Comes from a place of love. It's love. It's love terrorism. Oh yeah, we're right towards the end. Why was he dead? Remember when he was dead? Anyway, guess you got over it. Silly me for thinking that one episode would run into another one. That was a foolish assumption of mine. Or maybe he's been dead the entire time? We'll never know. I liked that last little part too. That was cool. Odd session, just from like, I expected something else, but we just got more of the show. It was good show though. I think it's some of the best stuff in the show is in these 2 episodes. Just some of the best overall premise for bits. Yeah, love the escape route part. Love the what was her name? Something Mitamo or something? Mayo? Her bit's great too. It's almost like a parody of like mystery stories as well, right? And red herrings. Like, no, a story wouldn't do that because it'd be too obvious. It's like, no, but sometimes reality isn't fiction. Sometimes what you see is what you get. And them being unable to grapple with that's quite funny. I also really liked the winter stuff where they're just kind of hanging and bed rotting. Funny. He died though. I don't really understand. But that's okay. I don't need to understand. We're getting there. And onwards and upwards with season 2, I guess. What is this? Some kind of gambling? Oh, did we win? We're gambling. Play along at home now. What? Okay, now we won. Bet. I mean, I know that there's season 2. Why was I worried? I know that there's a second season. Anyway, I digress. I'll return tomorrow. Kind of on the tired side. You saw me yawning. Yeah, weird one. Really weird one, but sure. I had fun. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. And we're back. It's the next day. 2 more episodes of Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei in the books. To my knowledge, it's downright inexplicable what they've done here. It's actually insane. It's one of the most insane things I've ever seen. So, unless I just completely misread the room, which is possible, it has happened, it will continue to happen. This cunt died. He died, and then kind of Furo was saying some bullshit about, like, oh no, it'll be better. I know it'll be okay because he'll make it through because he's our guy or whatever. Like, just some, faux inspirational nonsense. And I'm like, okay, this could be like a setup, right? A setup for a final episode where we dive in a little bit deeper to, I guess, the general setup before everything kind of went in whatever other direction it went, which was this philosophical conversation between kind of Fura and Itoshiki. And I thought that maybe we would come full circle on that, like a season of television would. Instead, in a downright baffling decision, we've used our 12th episode to introduce 2 new characters that were implied to have just been there the whole time, as they are also present at this kind of funeral, meet up at the hospital. I don't know what happened, man. Maybe I need to rewatch the start of the next episode too, but like, what? He gets hit by a streetcar and then is simply just fine. Okay. Okay. Granted, divorced from all that, and I think that's pretty odd, but I think they know it's odd, so it's interesting and stuff. I just think the jokes were funny again, and that makes up for all the bullshit. That's kind of where I'm at. And again, the concepts really hit this time instead of, again, some of the kind of setups for the jokes in the past have been quite shallow. Like the Mikoshi whole bit. No. But I think there is a true, like, nugget of, like, real funny kind of idea in the center of most of these kind of bits, right? Which, again, goes a long way if you're going to, again, focus entire halves of episodes on one thing sometimes. I don't know. This just confused the fuck out of me. I'm just going to try to ignore it, I guess, and go back to the start where we're going to go have a look at the movies. I've also read my liner notes. There wasn't too much there that I thought was worthy of notice. A lot of Osamu Dazai, which is fair enough. There's been a lot of that previous in the show, especially start of the next episode. There's like 3 or 4 different references right in a row. The other piece of trivia that I found somewhat interesting is the Shinzo Abe stuff. So he was the Prime Minister of Japan at the time, but kind of the week this episode or the next episode aired is when he stepped down, and that was, obviously big news. This show is sneaky political. It's sneaky a lot of things. I think again, Kumeta's just well read in general. He seems like he reads the newspaper a lot. But yeah, Shinzo Abe, it's very funny and quite quaint to be looking at this in 2007 because I believe he's re-elected at some point. I seem to remember Abe being the prime minister during a lot of my time at school, which was kind of after this, after 2007. Yeah, when I was in high school, so like well after that. Yeah. And then, of course, a few years ago now, he was killed. So, yeah, and again, I'm not an expert on the subject, so don't at me, but yeah, it's kind of funny looking back on that, I guess. But either way, we're not going to get anywhere unless we jump back through here. Just some brief overall thoughts on Season 1. Funny, but I wish we were a little bit more focused and didn't do the laundry list of reference type stuff as much as we did. But have you also considered funny? And funny goes a long way, it really does. I'm also, again, some of the characters are really growing on me. One of them is on screen. Love me some Chiri, of course. But yeah, as I said, we'll jump back through here. So first scene, it seems like there's some kind of film festival in town, which is pretty epic. We're watching, at least from the audio department, some kind of nightmare film with yodeling and explosions and gunshots and stuff. And yeah, we panned all the girls here and they look quite bored. It seems like the film is not very good. I would choose to sit in a seat if I were you, Mario, as well, but again, it's your prerogative. Oh yeah, that was in the liner notes. Kind of the flash there before this title card. It says congratulations on turning 40. Kind of between last week and this week, Koji Kumeta turned 40 years old. So shoutouts to that. He's officially a boomer, I guess. Kind of. The girls meet at the front of the cinema, basically say that the movie is crap, and then we meet the director guy, who's another in the grand pantheon of Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei weird old man characters that are just like creepy. I think it's definitely the way they draw the eyes. Even a third eye up here, which is pretty funny too. And yeah, this introduces the concept of this bit, right? So let me lay it out like this. It followed the original way. Okay, you've made something. The something that you've made is kind of shit. You're like, well, but I did it the same way that everybody else did it. And again, that's the problem. Everybody else has done it already. It's grown stale. It's become boring and monotonous and yeah, again, I stand by my example from yesterday, which is like most modern video game design. It's just like shitty open world game, kind of stand on a tower, fucking go to the thing on map, clear out outpost. It's like, what are we doing? What's the point of the video? Wait, huh? But yeah, they'll look at me and they'll be like, but that's how it's always been done. And I'm like, well, it's time to do something different. And that's one of the great things about art is you can do something different and subvert. We love a subversion, folks. Just have an idea, have a take, do something. And again, we take this whole concept to the nth degree, applying it to various other things. I think, again, this is the nugget of something that's pretty good. Just people going, but I did it that way. It's like, oh, no, that way sucks. Chat room, there are a number of eye catchers in this kind of 2-episode chunk as well, referencing various films. My people are telling me apparently this is a reference to Into the Faraway Sky. So, sure. Whatever you say, man. Oh yeah, I forgot to say the second part of the joke, which makes it even funnier, is all these literal physical routes in the city that encompass these ways, right? These excuses that you can use to weasel your way out of criticism, right? So again, the one we're taking right now is called The Original Way. It's the one that the director and Itoshiki, who have made some kind of friendship, I guess, read into that how you will, that they're going to use to escape criticism. Also, his hat is crying now, which is something. Yeah, these two really are birds of a feather. We've now got the director guy doing the whole, Zetsubou bit. You look in all those different directions. Apparently, many people in the industry use this technique, but it's how, it's how it's always been done as, an excuse, right? As a way to run away and escape route from criticism. Interestingly enough, this director over here kind of looks like one Hayao Miyazaki, which I think is interesting. And over here you've got fucking Clint Eastwood. For what purpose, I do not know, but he is also here. I should have also talked about the film in question that they're filming, which seems to be some kind of generic fantasy thing. You've got, your pretty stereotypical fantasy classes. Plus, I guess, depending on what you do, you also have a samurai or like a monk class or something. So yeah, sure, throw that in there. And again, it's a little bit rote. It's a little bit nothing. Also, the setting's weird. It's kind of like a setting for a western, but you've got all this other bullshit. Just doesn't make much sense, but it's the way it's always been done. Well, the bits don't go together. Like, you can't just excuse that. I really love this image. Just something about Nami, who's normally very calm, just being pissed is very funny to me. I like this. I endorse this. Interestingly enough, we say, hey, we always use this route here because this is what happens to creatives that try to take risks and don't do it the original way. And we show some guy just getting, like, beaten up. We also do the Nico Dorga thing, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, like, we don't want to get beaten up, so we use this route. That's kind of fun. Like, we don't want to take the risk, because if we take a big swing and a big miss, then it's a huge stain on the career. I'd rather just keep running on that mediocre stuff rather than taking any big swings. It's an indictment, and it's an indictment that I kind of agree with. It's like, that's not the way it should be. Oh, no, this one in particular really pissed me off in the moment. This is about the worst you can get when it comes to these laundry list reference things. It was just up on screen for like half a second. It's like, here's 5 points that reference the thing we're talking about, all of which are references that I do not understand, which doesn't help, but why even put it in the show? Like, you don't need to adapt. Like, I know this was probably in the manga. You don't need to adapt everything exactly the same. We're going to be okay. It's going to be fine. Like, why is this here? I don't know, man. Maybe it hinges on the references. If I found the references funny or even understood them, then maybe it's something else there. But again, this is the show's worst trait, in my opinion. It's just reference. It's like, what are we, Family Guy? Come on now. Oh yeah, then we shatter the fourth wall like a million times through this section. I think there's a little joke here saying that Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei is based off something, which, I mean, it is. It's not based on the novel you said it was, but it's based off the manga. So again, just saying I'm following the original way would be a pretty straightforward adaptation of the manga, right? Without any differences and just kind of same jokes and stuff and blah 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 blah. And again, I haven't read the manga, but isn't that exactly what you were doing there before? Like being too loyal to the source material? I don't know. I'm happy that the show's getting kind of meta about it anyway, but yeah. I don't know, maybe Shaft poking fun at themselves, potentially. From here, we then start spinning off into all the other escape routes in town. This one, it's basically the same concept, but for cooking. So you made something, you made some dish, and it's bad. But I followed the recipe exactly to a T. But maybe the recipe just sucks. I don't know. Like, you can't... That's not... You still made something that sucks. You can't just blame something else, Especially if it's, like, for, like, a competition or, like, people pay for it or something. Like, that's not gonna fly. But I guess the show also makes this point. Most recipes are proven to be good, right? So you must have just not followed the recipe correctly and then say that the recipe sucks instead, when in fact you just suck at following it, potentially you just suck at cooking. Now this one here was in the liner notes, it's very specific as well. So if you're reporting on the weather in Japan, at least during this time, you could rely on Japan Meteorology Agency forecasted, right? That the forecast that they put out, or use some more local methods, maybe a local meteorologist or something like that, and report that kind of stuff, right? Now, you may know this about, weather forecasting and stuff. It's not always exactly correct. It's gotten better over time, but it's never exact. So when people get pissed off when it isn't exact, we just blame this agency, the Japan Meteorological, if I could say it, agency instead of ourselves. Again, that's our escape route. That's the scapegoat that we blame for the bad stuff. The next one, again, it was a pretty specific reference, but it's a reference that can apply basically all over the world. It's basically the council taking too long on shit and then saying, oh, but this was the original plan. And then the plan changed and then it needed updating and then all that money down the drain. Governments being inefficient and whatnot. Yeah, again, strikingly political from Kometa, of course. This next one, we have a manga artist and their editor blaming the editor or the audience for the bad reception rather than their own art or own opinions on things. I don't know, something. Potentially there's a more specific reference there too. Then we do like a BDSM joke again. I don't really understand this one at all. I can't find the analog. You're enjoying it, I guess. You're saying, oh, I'm just following her orders, but you're getting some kind of sick, twisted satisfaction out of that. So, like, technically it is your fault. Maybe content, I guess. In the life cycle of the bit, we're at the part where, like, it elevates and we start to blame other people. Basically, a character, like, crashes out. Very often it's Chiri who basically says that it's immoral to be using said escape routes and, you know, I don't care that it gives pessimistic people or like hopeless people a way out of something. They're still that way. I see through the veneer there, I guess. And then, I don't know, I forget this part. He like grabs her tit or something? Why? I guess he didn't mean to. Oh yeah, Chiri's then like, okay, you can either take responsibility and we'll get married, or you could ignore me forever. Are you going to take the escape route, or are you going to take responsibility? Of course, as is the kind of momentum of the scene, and as is the point of the scene, of course we're going to take that escape route. Of course, before that, we need multiple ads for mosquito coils, because why not? Full of energy, this man says as well. Particular shoutouts to this one shot here, which just looks straight out of Monogatari to a crazy degree. And again, Shimbo, Monogatari. They share director, that's like what I'm getting at. This particular way is called God's Way. I get the feeling that this is a big old Japanese joke that is going over my head, which is fair enough. Oh, I'm following the will of God. Okay, yeah. Maybe a religious escape route. It's kind of funny. Oh yeah, then this one. This is Romantic Daughters, I believe. Let me get that poster up. Look at that, chat. Isn't that a spitting image of the other thing? Yeah, it kind of is. I'm looking at both side by side right now. That's kind of something. God, these references are fucking crazy, though. Like, what? I'm not even sure somebody from Japan would get this one. This movie's from the 50s. Either way, after choosing the path of ignoring Chiri gets her revenge by stabbing Itoshiki in the fucking back with a knife. So then, yeah, he's been stabbed, but then he got stabbed again by a mystery person who is here. Hello, mystery person. We'll address this mystery person later, because her bit's quite funny as well. She was, again, during that psycho portion, she was there for a brief moment. She has a history of stabbing people in the back and being a bit of a cunt, being a little bit evil, which, yeah, again, we play off of that in a pretty funny way. But here's the thing, these things just don't run into each other very well, I guess. Let's just assume that they're all like Simpsons episodes and don't have continuity here at this point. Like, he got stabbed and then just like, oh, next bit, I guess. There was also another, like, he like ran away and then he was just back in another bit. Like, again, take all continuity out of it except for the continuity that they choose to keep. It's hard, man. It's hard to know what's going to actually matter. I should also reference the general conceit of this particular episode, which is winter break, which this one's way more wintry than the last segment, but I digress. Yeah, this part is about bedrotting, I think. It's about hibernating and, you know, laying under the kotatsu all fucking winter instead of going out and doing anything. Chiri wants to do the spring cleaning, obviously. Tell you who's somebody that's really grown on me despite her not having much screen time at all? Komori. I think she's quite funny and kind of adorable whenever she shows up. Again, sans all the fucking ecchi stuff. Either, you know, take it or leave it on that kind of stuff. But her just like hiding places, we like open a random compartment and she's just in there telling us not to open it. That's kind of comfy. I like that. Another really comfy thing is this like little look between kind of Sinetsuki and Komori. I forget if it's here or a little bit later on. Yeah, this little wave, because they're both kind of doing the same thing, which is stalking Sensei. That's just, it's adorable. Just like, oh, hi. We're both kind of doing the same thing. That's great. Oh yeah, then Harumi comes in and it's like this look of horror that Chiri is going to come along and start cleaning. Now, more of this in the show overall would improve my opinion of it. That is like character-based slice of life stuff. That's the best shit ever. That's how you make the best shows, is do that kind of stuff. Which again is basically just like write a sitcom that is a bit more of a sitcom than a reference fest. So yeah, here's the gist. Chiri is so studious that she goes around to everybody else's places during the winter break to clean them for them. Because, I don't know, she gets off on it, I guess. The only problem here being that she just kind of throws away everything. Like, that's pretty bad, especially if you're like a collector or a bit of a weeb or whatnot. Throwing away the collector boxes or the DVD cases, that's no good. This was the one that really got me, right? As a little bit of a hoarder myself, I've definitely kept one of these for way too long. So if you kids remember, that would often sell like a phone charger kind of thing or like an iPod thing, and it'd be like this whole station that you'd like sit the thing in, right? And obviously it's terrible. All it's doing is like powering your device, and it's not future-proofed at all. You can't put your new thing in there, it doesn't fit. So eventually we kind of got away from that kind of stuff. You can kind of see it in the back on the wide shot. I've got a wireless charger there. It works sometimes. But obviously, again, that thing's future-proof. That thing's a little bit better. But again, most people just plug it into a cord like a normal human as well. Like, we don't need all this bullshit. But again, you might think that you might need it. It might be handy to have, and then lo and behold, you're keeping around garbage. I do like this quick scene here of these two looking through the trash for the stuff that she's thrown away. You look pathetic indeed. Great subbing. Now, one thing I wanted to note, there is a brief scene here where Maria talks about the cake being yummy or something, and then Majiru, who's over here, like kind of blushes. Like, I don't know, is that anything? Probably not, with the show's propensity to just do whatever it wants. But funny, I guess. Little crush, that's cute. From here, the conversation quickly turns to the concept of hibernation, and Sensei yearning for said hibernation. If I can't go to my eternal slumber, kind of touching that noose there, then can't I go for a temporary slumber like hibernation? I do like this moment of Chiri picking up the noose. It's like, didn't I throw this out? It's like a mother with a child, right? It's like, oh, I told you to get rid of these things. Again, joke being it's a noose. There's a mismatch of expectations there, the basis for comedy. Chiri instead believes that there is a very specific time for sleep, that being between 8 and 6 o'clock, basically, that kind of 10-hour chunk there, which of course is just like her, efficient to a T, military-esque, love it. I do like Fura coming out in kind of, you know, defense of the concept of hibernation, saying that humans do it all the time, and then bringing up 3 examples of the biggest losers you know. Basically somebody that's been fired, a NEET, and I don't know what you would call this. It isn't good though. And then yeah, we get a little bit more esoteric with it. It could be a manga that's on hiatus, it could be a frozen government project, a spam full BBS that's never updated. Little kind of bear emoticon thing down here too. All of these things are also in hibernation, a state that is almost mirroring death. Manga on hiatus is the one that got me. It's like, it's kind of dead, but maybe? Oh yeah, then we get a little bit weird. Again, we think hibernation sounds awesome. We think Komori is setting a good example of hibernation, hiding in that little cave in the house, I guess, in the little closet. Perfect hibernation spot, dozing off all the time. We even name-checked NEETs before, but Hikikomori is only one more step down that kind of road. You're the perfect hibernator. So yeah, can I scooch on in there with you? And then of course, she likes Satoshi. It turns into a whole like, oh, I'm embarrassed type thing. It's pretty good. I didn't mind it. Kind of bad touch stuff aside, the Chiri kind of sees between the lines there a little bit on what's actually happening. He's going to be sleeping in the same kind of closet as Komori, and of course, then she gets a little bit yandere. And yeah, now we need to make it properly clear that nobody will be doing any hibernating unless me and him are involved. In that case, kind of a Freddy Krueger reference would be kind of apt, wanting them not to sleep. Something, something. I'm guessing this is a little bit more generic than a specific reference, but I liked it as a point of reference regardless. Oh yeah, and then we just kind of go around and everybody chooses to hibernate for various reasons. Harumi didn't get into Komike. I don't know, and then it just turns into a big old sleepover. I think they kind of fuck up here by eliminating all air from entering the room. Kind of leads to a carbon monoxide joke later. Yeah, it almost turned into like a big old group suicide there. I did kind of say it gave off cult vibes, kind of all lying down together. The heating on, this kind of spiritual CD playing. Yeah, kind of giving group suicide in a weird way. And just as everybody else is falling asleep, Chihiro decides to have a little bit more fun with Sensei, preventing him from going to sleep by any means possible. Now I know your mind may be wandering to dirty things, but instead we're just going to say things that are going to keep you awake at night, like a leaky faucet or, you know, worrying about the future. I thought this kind of section with the, you know, whole background and the silhouetting was kind of giving Kill Bill, and it was name-checked in the references as well, so sure. We almost ended up sleeping forever, because yeah, then the carbon monoxide poisoning part happened. And then yeah, very quickly from there, Itoshiki runs away. I don't know why he was running away after they just like kind of survived. I guess Chiri was tormenting him. And then, I don't know, he grabs a noose and then he gets hit by a tram, I guess. And then we play it very straight and very dramatically, and then cut to an ED, and then come out of the ED, and then it's like the most somber and serious the show has gotten. Like the whole cast is there, we're playing the kind of Furuta is like being really optimistic about it card, but we tell her to knock it off. We basically say this isn't the time for jokes, everybody. He's dead. Bum bum ba-dum. Oh no, what are we going to do? And I'm like, this is obviously a setup for the final episode. And again, I kind of say during that section as well, I'm like, I'm sure we'll treat this with the reverence it deserves. We didn't treat it with anything. We just kind of went on to the next thing. Like, what? Why is it even in the show? Why? Yeah, I don't know. That's inexplicable. That is one of the craziest things I've seen. And I don't even think they did it on purpose. I don't even think they know what they did. Which is fucking with me, man. Like, what? What? Anyway, onwards to the next episode. Why not? Yeah, I don't know. He's just like straight into the bath. Anyway, I'm dropping it. This Mount Fuji on the wall. Now, this is a reference and another pretty, you know, full-on one, but bear with me. So, during the original broadcast of the 10th episode of Hidamari's sketch, there was an animation error whereby Mount Fuji was meant to be in the background, but instead was just placeholder text that said Mount Fuji. And that was a mistake. It wasn't meant to go to air, but it did. That's kind of funny, right? Obviously it got fixed in subsequent releases, and Shaft, being as meta as they are, decided to reference that here with this, being a little bit tongue-in-cheek about the whole thing. Again, the connection being that Hidamari's sketch was obviously made by Shaft as well. That's very fun. I like that a lot. Again, I like it when we keep it to anime, going to the manga. I don't know it's a manga, shut up. But like going to the manga stuff, the stuff I'm less familiar with, is a little bit haphazard. It gets a little bit weird for me. There's some really cool shots during this sequence, though. Like, that's a particular standout. The dynamite around his head there is an odd choice as well. Probably a reference. And then, yeah, straight into that same old opening again, which I think was a cool pick. I remember when I saw this opening the first time, I didn't get all this stuff translated this way, so it's nice to see the staff shouted out like this in the text. I think that's pretty cool. And again, I shouted them out at the first episode of the series. I'm remembering some of these names, of course. Yeah, these backgrounds here were really awesome as well. Something about Showa, Tokyo 82. And then, I don't know, like, what was that? Was it a reference? I don't know. What was any of that? And then Damsel in Distress, Girl I. So, you may think it says Girl 1. It actually says Girl I, because the character we're dealing with in this segment is called I. Okay, that's pretty funny. I like that a lot, actually. Because this isn't a 1, right? Yeah, I see what they're doing. And I mean, I can summarize her character just by saying this: am I causing trouble for everyone? That's what she's thinking constantly, and she's constantly self-conscious about it. That's the joke. That's the character. I do like the meta application of the joke, however, where it's like she hasn't been in the show and stealing other people's screen time because, again, she would be a bother and should be in the way and a waste of space and all that other kind of stuff. That's pretty smart. But also, should we talk about the bonkers decision to introduce 2 characters this late in the piece? Like, what? And I know there's more content and more seasons, but normally you do that at the start of a season, man. Like, come on now. And then I thought it was going to connect to the whole streetcar thing, because she was standing on a streetcar, and then we'd see Itoshiki, and I remember he got hit by a streetcar. I think I said this during the reaction as well. This is the kind of person that annoys me the most. The overly self-conscious, overly self-deprecating, never confident, no self-esteem, just annoying, just constantly stressed, and then that makes me stressed. I hate that kind of person, man. Fuck that kind of person. Be confident. Be yourself. I don't care. I don't give a fuck what you do. Just don't think that your presence is annoying me, because it's not. So I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of personal bias that's giving me some discomfort towards this particular character. And I mean, I can go through the examples here, but they're pretty much all the same thing. She just tricks herself into thinking that she's inconveniencing everybody else, but she's really not. Like ducking down in front of other people, or, you know, oh, maybe I'm too close, I'll ball up now. It's like, none of this is necessary, man. Why is Harumi reading a comic of herself that says Summer for 500,000 morons? I don't know. But I like the art, though. Yeah, and the aforementioned Osamu Dazai references, a lot of very... Osamu Dazai didn't seem like the most mentally well man, let's put it that way. So maybe turning to him for inspiration there, praying at his grave, probably isn't a great thing. Itoshiki finally enters the room, and this is when I get super confused because he's not dead, but anyway, I'm dropping it. And then he goes on about a guilt complex, and that's like the name we're giving to this particular skit, and then we're going to do the references. Have fun with the references. Now, I liked this one, right? So... you know, you'll have little kind of convenience store lotteries and that kind of thing in Japan. Or at least, again, they used to. If you won said lottery, obviously you'd need to be attended to by an attendant and you'd be waiting up the line, right? And again, you'd feel bad about winning the lottery. You're like taking up other people's space and slowing them down. This is another crazy one. Like, is worried about the sound of running water, waking the neighbors, so you shit the bed. And I think where they kind of lose me is tying this over consideration into being Japanese. Because again, I'm not Japanese. This isn't hitting for me, right? Now, Australia has a bunch of cultural things that I don't like. I mean, tall poppy syndrome for one, but I think everywhere has that to some extent. But I didn't grow up here, man. I don't know. Are you guys really overly considerate? I guess that's a stereotype, but that's also a stereotype about like Canada and stuff. So like, I don't know. Are you guys that bad at it? Oh, I missed this on the first one. Little Peanuts reference there with Fura, is it? Hang on. Yeah, definitely, for sure. With Maida blocking the copyright. We love to see it. That's great. Oh, it's not Fura, it's, yeah, fair enough. Oh, yeah, I guess I can tie this in with the ending. There's some cool stuff about, like, this being the final episode and, like, potentially teasing that it may get cancelled here, right? That we're not going to get a second season. I'm sorry we didn't get a second season because I'm the main character, that being Nami, and I'm not particularly interesting. It's like, but you're not the main character. Anyway, I like that the show's talking about it. That's very fourth wall in a way that I enjoy. One thing we haven't really been doing much with Kaire is the whole mixed personalities thing. Like, we've kind of dropped that a little bit. She's kind of just haughty now. That's kind of her personality. A little bit full of herself and overly confident. So yeah, I don't know. Take it or leave it, I guess. At least they're mixing it up. Well, that's kind of a connection between the two episodes. Like with all the escape routes last episode, we've kind of got this like real world application of these concepts. That's something we could keep going with. Like there's literal places in the city that represent these things that we're talking about. Here we have Guilt Complex Crossing. Like, again, like, there's a physical space where we can now do all this stuff instead of it just being lines on a blackboard. It could be a little bit more visual, which I enjoy. There's lots of great little shaft flare here and there as well. Like, why did they make this piece of animation look like that? Hang on. This one. So she kind of goes that way, and then the camera doubles back, and then she goes back the other way, and then it kind of cuts in a cool way to make it all contiguous. Why even do that? What was the point? But it's really cool. So, like, go off. Again, shaft stuff. It's really fun. Yeah, we really seem to be doubling down on this kind of guilt complex as a kind of basis of Japanese culture and society thing. Again, tying into service culture as well. Customer's always right. Of course, if she's upset, then I must be upset as well. This is kind of repetition of the same joke for mine. Like, we go to a cafe, and then I doesn't really touch her sandwich, and then, you know, then she gets self-conscious about thinking that he made a bad... Then he gets self-conscious because he thinks that he... And then she gets so... It's a whole guilt complex thing. It's the same thing, but now food service instead of just service. I thought this was one of my favorite ones. It's kind of a fun subversion. There's a sticker down here that just says bitch, and I think that's pretty good too. So we see this kind of guy, very Yakuza looking motherfucker, and this guy that's like straight up a criminal. And again, they get into a car accident. It's like going to erupt into a huge thing, and then, you know, everyone's all very nice and, you know, overly apologetic about it. It must be a Japan thing. These are like two scumbags in Japanese society, and they're still doing it. Even the car salesman, it's my fault for selling a car that couldn't slow down in time. And then also like the factory worker for the cars, like, no, it's my fault for making a car that couldn't brake in time. And then the critic, there's like a car magazine critic that says, no, it's my fault for recommending it. Yeah, we're all just holding hands in our kind of circle of group mediocrity, I guess. But Furu's having a good time, and that's half the battle, I guess. I think this attaching it into the national identity thing is, you know, most prominent here when talking about the national soccer team. Again, sports teams have always kind of represented a nation, for better or for worse, especially at something as high profile as a World Cup, right? Kind of represents in totality what that kind of country is about. And basically the joke here is that Kometa's saying that the Japanese team was kind of lame and that they weren't coached very well and lots of stuff, I guess. My question is, how did they do in the 2006 World Cup? I guess I should look that up. Okay, first and foremost, we're going to have group stage. Let's find Japan. Oof, there we go. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was going to bring this up. I seem to remember us beating Japan. And yeah, that must have been the case. Yeah, Timmy Cahill with a double. Yeah, nice. Okay. John Aloisi. And then we got sparked by Brazil. And then I guess we went through? What did we do? 1 draw, 1 loss, 1 win. Yeah, fair. But yeah, Japan, they're pretty bad. They had a pretty bad campaign. What did they score? 2 goals the entire tournament? That's probably not great. Yeah, and the meme was that this game was quite close, I think. The Australia-Italy game. But we're not talking about Australia, we're talking about Italy. Oh, we're not talking about Italy either, we're talking about Japan. My brain, I'm so tired. Anyway, point being, a little bit of a pathetic display. The joke being that they're a little bit too nice as for competitive tournaments such as this. Yeah, potentially it's time for a little bit of change. Obviously, Kometa's a bit of a sports person as well. Into soccer, that kind of thing. I really want to go to the World Cup. Isn't there one in America soon? Anyway, I gotta have money first as well. Yeah, I didn't even watch soccer. What am I doing? Anyway, I think it'd be fun, is my point. Anyway, that tangent aside, I guess I could skip over a lot of these jokes, because mostly they're just esoteric things about that particular World Cup campaign. Oh, I think this is the Croatians. That's kind of fun. Okay, yeah, bet. We then do the list thing again. There was a couple there that got me that I thought were quite good. The aforementioned lottery at the convenience store. You ask mom to hem your clothes. Now, this is a little bit more of a specific thing. I think you can get this done most places as well these days, or maybe back in the day. If you want your clothes hemmed or brought up or that kind of stuff, they can do that in most major clothing stores in Japan. But if you didn't want to inconvenience that kind of person by asking them to do their job, then you'd get your mother to do it instead. And I'm guilty of this. Mum always does all that kind of stuff, all the sewing for me, which is nice. And this was one I read up on. You work for the JAF, but you don't call them for help. So essentially, you have roadside assistance, but you don't use it. That's kind of the vibe I get, right? Like, you have somebody that can help you if your car breaks down, but you don't want to inconvenience them despite you paying for it. It's nonsense. Like, what are you doing? And then, extremely Japanese joke here again. Itoshiki feels like he needs to apologize to the city of Tokyo because he's not a good Tokyo resident because he drinks the water and he's friendly with his neighbors, which isn't the vibe in Tokyo apparently. So I'm gonna fuck off because I'm inconveniencing the city as a whole. And yeah, then they leave for Okinawa and then they're way too skinny and white for Okinawa, so they can't win. This is a really cool shot though. Had they been, is that like a CG on that effect? I don't know. Looks awesome. I really love it. And then, I don't know, Sensei kills himself, which he was dead at the end of anyway. And then the joke is that everybody's like, no, it's my fault. No, it's my fault. No, it's my fault. Everybody's like being overly accommodating. It's the bit. It's the joke of the scene. But yeah, I really love this bit here where Tsunetsuki is in the coffin along with him. Because, again, she just kind of stalks him and follows him wherever he goes. Really caught me off guard on the reaction. One of my favorites for sure. So then next part, we have the character with the mean eyes that says, I have mean looking eyes so I'm often misunderstood, before going around and doing a bunch of evil things. That's the joke, everybody. She's like, she's preying upon that misdirect. And again, her name is Mitama Mayo. So keep that one, commit that one to memory. And again, I think I've pretty thoroughly explained this bit, both in the reaction itself and now. They look at this person and then they think that they've just got like a red herring, basically. Like, no, they look too evil. It'd be too obvious if you were the culprit, right? When, you know, fiction isn't reality. Stereotypes exist for a reason. It's probably that person. I'm gonna be real with you. Tangent, but she looks like the Madman Entertainment logo. If you know, you know. I guess. But something with the eyes, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I think she's quite funny. She's very violent and blunt, and she just kind of does whatever. I don't know, more to this general theme in the episode of people being overly accommodating. Like, you don't want to be this kind of person that judges people of stereotypes. You don't want to be this kind of bigot. So then you get kind of into a bit of a tizzy about the whole thing. Yeah. I like the bit. It's quite good. And the animation there too. Oh yeah, that's great wording. The opposite, right? So instead of a guilt complex like the previous skit, this is an innocence complex. Like, it's the opposite problem. Yeah, I guess I and Mitama are kind of two different sides of that same coin. I'm kind of stunned as I make my way through this bit. I don't really have that much to say about it at all. It's funny. It's just, what else can I... stereotypes exist, and we go through a bunch of stereotypes there. It's like manga artists don't generally look like they stereotypically do, but... sometimes they do. Sometimes the drunk guy talking to the fire hydrant. Sometimes that guy is just a drunk guy, and he probably should be judged accordingly. There's not any kind of, you know, extenuating circumstances there. Now, what's the part where she fucking puts a stick up the dog's bum? That's odd. This kind of character is Furu's kryptonite as well, because Furu always looks on the bright side of life, always assumes the best in people, and when you see a genuine bad egg, you know, you're always going to believe them. You're always going to be taken along for the ride, so to say. So, not a good character for Fura to interact with, of course. Yeah, specifically here we're talking a little bit more about the mystery novel element. Kudo, my favorite character, of course, talking about it in a little bit more specific detail. Again, all it makes me think about is Danganronpa, which the first case has the most obvious culprit. And anyway, we're not going to do that. But yeah, like, you know, they prey upon that red herring. They prey upon that misdirect, right? And yeah, this line of thinking normally is correct. The guy with the bloody knife in his hand and the grudge normally isn't the culprit. But this is reality, not fiction, as I keep saying. Oh, I'm very surprised I didn't get this initially as well, because I read up on the references. They're playing Twister Karata, of course. Now, Karata I know from the anime Chihaya Furu. It's one of my favorites. So yeah, seeing it referenced here is pretty fun. It's a different version where it's a little bit more flashcard based instead of just having the verses from the poems on them, having that kind of first syllable instead. But again, same difference. Combining that with Twister and doing an ecchi joke with these two certainly is a decision, but I don't know, it's something. I got the character part, I guess. And yes, I was correct. This is most definitely a Evangelion. That's Shinji and Kaoru. Very cool. I don't know who you are. Is this like some Rurouni Kenshin type shit? This looks like Oran High School Host Club. Yeah, okay, we're getting a few of these for sure. Shoutouts to Oran High School Host Club, man. That's a good show. I like that one quite a bit. I don't know, and then kind of Mitama goes around and starts wreaking havoc on everybody, stealing tales, changing mangas, you know, that kind of stuff. I do like the part where she resets, like factory resets Meiru's phone. That's just ridiculous. Also, what was she about to do with that pole and Kaede? Hey yo, I hope not. I don't know, and then it gets a bit weird because Sensei like genuinely apologizes to her and then she blushes, so I guess she likes him now, and then she beats the fuck out of his nephew. Am I wrong? I'm seeing a little bit of Paranoia Agent there with the bat, right? Not that I've seen the show, but maybe? I don't know. I could just be wrong there. I don't know, and then she fucking nukes the house. This show's mental, man. Yeah, I don't know. And then, yeah, this was fun. Okay, we're just gonna wrap up here. This was a nice, like, little finale. Cheer with the car. Probably a little bit more of a concrete reference there, too, if I'm honest. Should I talk about the meta part at the end with the whole kind of, you know, slot machine? Are we gonna get a season 2 type thing? And then we kind of fail, but then we get it anyway. Oh, yeah, and then our end card here is just by Koji Kumeta. I wonder who that could be. Yeah, this is kind of cool. Anyway, that was season 1. Broadly confused. Very funny, as I keep saying, but very confused. I don't know, man. We're gonna wait and see on the show continuously. It's a watch and act. Yeah, I don't have much to say about season 1 overall. Funny, weird. I don't know what to take seriously. I don't know what not to take seriously. We should stop doing just the list of jokes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week for season 2. Patreon, if you wanted that straight away. This video is just quite odd, isn't it? Discord. Catch you later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.